Hetepu, Assalamu alaikum, Namaste, Haru Nefer. This is Qesankh Maya Keparu with another exciting video for you. And in this video, we're going to expose the truth because I'm dating a white girl. No way. All right, calm down. But before I get into that, I want you to hit the like button on this video. If this is your first time to my channel, hit the subscribe bell to get notifications on when I go live and when I upload recorded videos. And if you want to know more about my spiritual teachings, you can become a Patreon supporter. You can do so for as little as $1, $5, or $20 per month. It's up to you, and there's no obligation. You can cancel at any time. You'll get exclusive access to instructional videos, videos on the spiritual, videos on the esoteric that'll teach you how to communicate with the ancestors, how to do lucid dreaming, how to put together a magical amulet, how to do a ritual, the proper way to meditate. And I'm also giving free my ebooks are on Patreon, so you can download them today and start reading. We also have other good things like documents, papers. Now we've got the ebook, which is called Happy Pocket, which really teaches you the metaphysical principles of attracting wealth. And the last thing is we have a whole listing of mantras so that you can use them to attract wealth, a mate, and so on. So become a Patreon supporter today. Last but not least, share this video with family and friends so we can get the revolution started. So you gotta excuse me, I just finished eating. I ordered this vegan chicken sandwich from a restaurant. It was my first time eating there, so I didn't really know if it was going to be good or not. And it turned out to actually be pretty good. It was not bad. So, but anyway, let's get on to the subject here. And yes, it's true. I'm dating a white girl. And there's nothing you can do about it, I know a lot of people don't like it when a black man such as myself goes out of the race. Well, I'm not really black; I'm light skinned. But when a black man goes outside his race and dates a white girl, a lot of people don't like it, especially what they call the black nationalist. They get upset, or the Pan-Africanist. So let me just put something to rest. Because I'm really kidding. I'm not dating anybody at the moment. But the truth is that years ago, I would say in the late 80s, early 90s, I was involved heavily in the Black national movement or the Pan-African movement, whatever you want to call it. And they do frown upon interracial dating, especially if it's a handsome brother such as myself. And I saw a lot of things I didn't like. Brothers actually putting other brothers down, shaming them for dating outside the race. The so-called sisters were doing the same thing. But what I saw was some discrepancies. I saw that when black women dated outside the race and got them a white man, everybody was cool with it. No one said anything. But the minute the brother was dating a white girl, everybody was all up in arms. So what I want to really tell you about this is I'm going to get into the whole spiritual aspect, but the important thing to understand is this concept of race based on phenotype is just a fraud. It's a big fraud. And it was interesting because oh, what are you doing? Come here. Special guest star. Jazzy. Hey, Jazzy. Okay. I went to ChatGTP to ask it about race. Like, when did this whole concept of race begin? Let me see if I can share my screen, if I can bring it up. And if you guys are not using ChatGTP, shame on you. Shame on you. Okay. It had a number of things to say about it. All right. Anyway, Okay, when did the concept of race start? The concept of race, as we understand it today, where human beings are categorized into distinct races based on physical characteristics like skin color, facial features, and hair type, emerged relatively recent in human history, particularly during the 17th and 18th centuries, although its roots can be traced back further in history. Let me just jump down here. The rise of race in the age of exploration. Modern concept of race began to take shape in the context of European colonialism and the transatlantic slave trade beginning around the 15th century and intensifying in the 17th and 18th centuries. And then you'll see it actually goes on to state a lot more. But I don't want to really get uh, too deep into that because um, it takes us off the subject matter here. It's really disgusting how Black people themselves who talk about how white people are racist and how they judge us based on our skin color and all that will then turn around and then kind of like shame a brother for dating a white girl. Or if he decides that he doesn't want to date Black women anymore, he'll date outside of his race. But automatically people think when you say outside of the race, excuse me, I think my mic is having some problems here, technical difficulties. When we say outside of the race, automatically you think about white girl, but there's other women. There's like Brazilian women. There's Asian women. There's Filipino women. And sorry, let me just see if I can fix this. I don't know where this is coming from. I'm hearing some feedback. But why do we think automatically he's going to date a white girl? Well, I'll tell you that the you know, I think there is within this Black nationalism an envy of guys who do that. There, a lot of brothers are envious of that. This is why they engage in shaming tactics. And hold on a second, it's still doing it. Okay, still doing it. I don't know where that feedback is coming from. It's so weird. Okay, well, I hope it stops. But yeah, there's some envy there and jealousy when somebody says they're going to be outside the race. So I'm not going to get too deep into this, but we can see with Kamala Harris how she's ascended to the highest office in the country, or is attempting to, yet married to a white man, but no one is saying a thing. But yet, if a Black man would have run for president and he had a white woman as a wife, he would never make it. He would never get there to even the primaries. Because there's this unevenness and discrepancy when it comes to if a Black man dates out the race, or if a Black woman dates out the race. It's very evident. This is why I have chosen to not align myself with those in the Black nationalist movement. And I'm going to say something that's very general, but it's true. A lot of them are not very intelligent. They often come from low-income households. So they're susceptible to this whole idea of, of separation. And they're doing is just a mirror inverted image, however you want to say it, of what the white supremacists are doing. You see, this came about around the time of Malcolm X, when he was following Elijah Muhammad, and he was preaching what I call Black supremacy. Because white people during that time had put us down in terms of our skin color, our hair texture. They had put us down so badly that when Elijah Muhammad came and said that you're gods, you're superior to them. It was a welcome message, but it still wasn't the right message because you were still teaching supremacy. I'm not trying to put down Malcolm X or Elijah Muhammad, but I'm just giving you the truth. So that carried over into the Black nationalist movement, to where you have these brothers now shaming us, or shaming other brothers for going outside the race, even though they may date a Filipino woman. You know? But I want you to understand this from the very spiritual perspective. As I got into the Kemetic spiritual tradition, I noticed that at the temple I was going to, that no one cared what color of a woman I was dating. In fact, when I brought a friend and she was white, they welcomed her. She took part in classes. Because in the Kemetic spiritual tradition, we understand one fundamental thing, that who you are is not the physical body. The physical body is just an archetype. It's just a vessel. You are consciousness. Consciousness has no race, has no color, has no gender. And it's that consciousness that will be reincarnated lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And that there are women or men you may have dated in a past life who are reincarnated in this life. And your soul is searching for that person to hook up with. So to come along and say you only must date this person because of their color is to go against the very principle of who you are, consciousness. Because what you're dealing with is harmonic frequencies. Does your frequency align with this man or woman? That's the important thing. Is the person kind? Are they nice? Do they treat you well? That's the most important thing. And if she happens to be white, Israeli, Arab, whatever, then go with it. Then go with it. Now, I don't believe that the entire race should suddenly date outside itself. But I'm saying is though what we're preaching and talking about betrays the very essence of who and what we are. Nectar, place, or God, source, placed an aspect of itself within us so that it could experience this third dimensional plane. And because in order to experience this third dimensional plane, it has to be set up in such a way to have individualization of things so that it can interact with. And because of this individualization, we have the left brain comes along and then labels, defines things, and categorizes them based on externals. Based on externals. But those are only not just archetypes, but means in which for you to physically interact with this third dimensional plane, but it's not the thing itself. Do you understand? When you call me Qesankh, that's just a label. But the thing itself of who I am is consciousness. It's not black, light-skinned, or white, or Asian. So I want you to understand that these labels, these terms that we have adapted to, and that we're using to separate ourselves further, are going to cause problems in the end. You may be dating somebody who's white, and you have dated them in a past life, and you found them again in this life. So who's to say what you're doing is wrong? Traditionally, in the Kemetic spiritual tradition, you and your mate would sit down before a Shechem, and then we would do a reading with the great oracle of Tehuti. And if the oracle said that you two should be together, be damned what the world says. The oracle is the mouthpiece, it's Tehuti of God. And if the oracle sanctions the union, then that's it. God has spoken. If the oracle says, no, you shouldn't be together, then go your separate ways. That's how it should work. If we really want to say we follow our spiritual tradition or we're better than they are, no, the way we're operating is we're not any better than them. We're basing things based on phenotype, same way they're doing it, but yet then we call ourselves superior. Some of these people in the Black nationalist movement, not all, are the lowest of the low. And when I was going on a lecture circuit, mixing around with them, talking with them, I began to see that that's not my place to be. Because I was being judged by who I was dating and who I was associating with. I had a Black lawyer who I needed for a film project, wanted to charge me thousands and thousands of dollars. But when I went to the white lawyer, the Jewish lawyer, he put together the papers for free. And then we became really good friends after that. So some of the worst people you could meet could be your own people. And some of the best humane people out there could be a white person. But you're jumping the gun. So I just want you to understand this and stop with this shaming, blaming, judging based on who someone is dating. It's ridiculous. If I want to date my snow bunny, that's no one's business but my business. And I really think it's ridiculous for a grown man to be telling another grown man who he should be dating or who he should be associating with. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying that, hey, interracial dating is great. Go out there and date. I'm not saying that. Don't get it twisted now. I'm saying that whoever you are dating should be sanctioned by the oracles. That's because the oracle can tell you what's going to happen 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. You don't know that person 5 years down the road could be a mass murderer, could get addicted to drugs. You wouldn't know that unless you went to the oracle and the oracle told you. Because the oracle is going to give you the best advice to help you, to save you. The oracle is not going to put you in a compromising position. There's a guy out there named Dr. Umar Johnson, runs around talking about Black men shouldn't be dating snow bunnies and this. And that's another thing that we have to be careful of in our community, are men like him who want to kiss up to Black women because he knows there's a large segment of Black women who despise black men who date outside the race. So to align himself with those black women and to get more followers and more support, more money, he then comes out of his mouth and curses black men that date white women. And he says all this rhetoric just so he can get favor from these black women. And he'll also use other tactics like using certain language to kiss up to them. Oh, my queen, my goddess, my queen. And of course, those certain black women love it. They're like, oh, you call me queen, you call me queen. I want to fuck him. You know, we've got to move beyond that. Smooth words. Again, he just wants to get. That's all. So to please you and kiss up to you, he says these things. Oh, my queen, they just can't handle a strong, independent black women. That's why they dating white snow bunnies. You know? And meanwhile, he has a lust for white women. He has a serious thirst. Because many of these brothers who are out there shaming other brothers for dating white women themselves are envious and jealous. And it's sad. It's really sad. And anytime you want to know if a particular mate is right for you, then contact me. I can put you in contact with someone who can do a reading for you. And who will give you the dirt. Who'll spell it all out for you. If that's a union you should be involved with. But for right now, let's try to be Osir. And Osir is symbolized by the mummy with the crook and flail in this position, because he has no preferences. He wears white. That's what the white symbolizes, is has no preferences. You're not emotionally moved by anything. And if you are a black female who does get triggered by seeing a black man with a white woman, well, you need to look within yourself and say, what's triggering you? Where's that coming from? And deal with that accordingly. That's something you have to work on. First of all, it's none of your damn business. So you need to leave it alone. But we're so messed up of a society as a community that, like I said, if a brother did try to become president and he had a white wife, he could forget it. He would never make it. Not just due to black people, but white people too. They wouldn't like that. But it's okay if a black woman has a white husband. You understand what I'm saying? So just remember your consciousness. You're God trying to have an experience. And that experience, chief among that, is to come back to the realization of who you are and understand the power that you have. So leave that judgment or being judgmental alone, because you only contribute to the problem of racism. If you like this message, please donate to the channel. This is Qesankh Ma Keparu, son of Ma'at and Tahuti. Ma'at is the beautiful goddess Hedaru. Until next video, I'm in Ra.